Okay, test review. You're going to thank me later when you see your test. Alright, but let's get this started. Number one, which inequality corresponds to the statement 9.5 is less than or equal to 15.9? So, less than or equal to. So, I like the fact that all the questions here are multiple choice, so we can actually work on some strategies. The one thing we know is that the inequality sign is going to be less than or equal to. So if the multiple choice does not have this sign, you can automatically throw it out. Okay, sometimes you don't even have to know a lot about the topic, but you can just eliminate things that really don't make sense. So letter A right there, you can eliminate. Okay, letter A is garbage because that has a less than sign. Letter B has a not equal sign. So that's also garbage. And letter C has a greater or equal sign. So without doing anything, okay, I am choosing letter D for number one because it's the only one that has a less than equal sign. Okay, so by eliminating the other choices, by understanding that I am looking for a multiple choice answer that has to have this sign, okay, I chose D. Now, if you had another multiple choice that had the same thing, then you would actually have to read the problem, make sure the numbers matched up. Okay, so let's say the choice D is 9.5 is less than or equal to 15.9. And if they had to make another choice like letter E, and they wrote 15.9 is less or equal to 9.5, then yes, between these two you have to choose which one actually is corresponds to the statement 9.5 is less than or equal to 15.9, which by the way is this one. Okay, 9.5 is less than or equal to 15.9. This one says 15.9 is less or equal to 9.5. Besides, it's not even a true statement. So, but since we don't have to worry about this, the only multiple choice question that has that symbol is letter D. How easy was that? 2. Y, 5.3 times a number that we don't know, we call it Y, equals 51.94. Okay? And again, if you estimate, this says a number, 5.3 times a number that we don't know equals 51.94. Now, if I were to guess, okay, I can round this to about 5 times a number equals 50. So what times 5 equals 50? So if I were to estimate, I'm looking for an answer that is around 10, because 5 times 10 is 50, and that's what we're looking for. So look at your multiple choice answers. Look at letter C. It says 5, if it's 98, that's way too much. So 98 is out. D is 0.98, which is close to 1. That doesn't even make sense. 5.3 times 1 equals 51.94. No, so right away I got rid of C and D. And A is 9.8 and B is 8.9. So one of the two actually is the correct answer. Now, how are you going to figure out? Well, why don't we multiply 5.3 times a number, and let's pick A for 9.8. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that equals to 51.94. So 8 times 3 is 24, goes 2. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 2 is 42. 8 times 3 is 27, goes 2 again. And 8 times 5 is 45, plus 2, 47. 4, 9, 1, 5. 2 decimal places in my numbers being multiplied, so my answer has 2 decimal places. And guess what? A is the correct choice. So 5.3 times 9.8 is 51.94. Okay? Multiple choice. Use strategies, guys. You can eliminate a lot of things, okay, to leave you options. Kylie lives in a state that has an 8.25% tax. If C represents the total cost of an item and T represents the sales tax on the item, which equation expresses a relationship between these two variables? Well, here, total cost, okay, total cost that I'm going to pay for the item is going to be it's going to be the cost of the item, whatever the item is, sweater, a shirt, whatever it is, and I'm going to multiply that by the sales tax. Now, the sales tax is 8.25, and I'm hoping you remember that you can't multiply something that is in a percent format. So you got to change this to a decimal. Move the decimal 2 spaces to the left, 1, 2, and you got 0.0825. And the only answer that has that, oh, by the way, and then 0.0825 times C, the cost of the item. So you're going to multiply the tax plus times the price of the sweater, the book, or whatever you're buying to find your cost. To find your tax, actually. So this would be not T, it's 825. That is not. B is 0.825, no, and C is the only one that is expressed correctly. Has the percent expressed as a decimal correctly. Final answer for 3 is C. 4, which is the solution to the equation. Now, here we have Z minus 2 1/2 equals 4 and 2/7. Okay, so let me just take a second here and do a simple equation. Let me change the numbers to 5 minus 2 equals 3. Now, that's a bad example. Let's say 6. 6 minus 2 equals not 3 but 4. Alright, so if this was 6 minus 2 minus 4, 6 minus 2 equals 4. Sorry, what am I doing here? Okay. Let me take a step back, sorry. Let me do this instead. Minus 2 equals 4. So what number minus 2 equals 4? We're looking for this number right here. Okay, so ignore the test question right now and focus on this. It's the same format, a number minus 2 equals 4. What would you have to do to find that number? Well, you would have to add these two, wouldn't you? 4 plus 2 gives you 6. You're working backwards. So here is the same thing. I would have to add this fraction or mixed number with this mixed number to get the value of Z. Okay, let's see if estimating kind of works. So if you're going to add those two numbers, let's see, it's 2 plus 4 and then 1/5 and 2/7. So 2 and 4 is the whole number. So that's 6 plus 1/5 plus 2/7 is going to give me 6 and something. Okay, just by looking at this number and this number. If I'm going to add those two, and I'll put it this way because that's the way we did it in class, 4 and 2/7 plus 2 and 1/5. You gotta wonder why I write crooked, right? I don't know, because this is a plus sign, by the way. I'm not used to my tablet. And if you were to add this approximately, 4 plus 2 is going to be 6, my whole numbers. And that fraction, 2/7 plus 1/5, gives me about, I don't know, 6.5. I'm just rounding things. So look for a multiple choice that is within that area. It's not going to be 7 for sure, because 4 plus 2 is 6, and this 2/7 plus 1/5 is definitely not going to be a full number. So, and looking at your multiple choice, A is 3 and 9/10. No, get rid of that. B, 7 and 7/15. No, because there's no way this number is going to be 7th. C, 5. No, it can't be 5 because 4 plus 2 again is 6. It has to be a minimum of 6. The only available choice is D. I didn't add, I didn't do anything. Just by eliminating, I found the answer. Okay, but I will actually also do this. Okay, so if you were to do it, you're going to add 4 and 2/7. Okay, and 2 and 1/5. Okay. All right, so if it were to add, oh geez, now it's all the other way. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Let's try again. 4 and 2/7, 2 and 1/5. Okay, we draw a line here separating our whole numbers with our fractions. Okay, we shoot out our fractions first. You notice that the denominators are different. Okay, and the LCM is 35. That's times 5, so that's a 10. This is 35 times 5. That's 7 on top. Now we can add our fractions. So these two fractions are no longer in play. 10 plus 7 is 7. 35 stays the same. And the other side is 16. Is 6. And the answer is 6/17 over 35. 7 times 5 is 2. 7 times 5 is 5, so that's a 10. And this would be 5 times 7. Okay, the answer should have been D, which is the closest one. It's probably a mistake there, okay? Although it says 6/19 over 35. Okay, so I'm assuming it's a typo. Okay, so the correct answer should be D. 5. Which inequality is represented by the graph? Okay, tough one. Okay, because this graph has this, has a little circle. Okay, remember, when there's a circle that it's open or not shaded, it means either this one or this one. A greater sign or less sign. It is not that sign and it's not that sign, because if it was those two signs, greater than or equal, less than or equal, the circle would be shaded. So right away, I can get rid of letter C and letter D. Garbage, garbage. So now you got to look, I'm sorry, letter D only. I can get rid of. Okay, but notice that this particular question doesn't have an arrow. It does have an arrow, but it actually does not have an arrow that, you know, on top pointing this way or pointing that way. It just has a circle on top. So go through your multiple choice questions. Can it be less than 46? I guess it can. Can it be greater than 46? I guess it can, because we don't have an arrow pointing either way. Can it be different than 46? Is it not 46? That is a true statement. So X, this is basically saying that it could be any number on this side and on the other side, except it cannot be 46. Okay? Weird question, no? Next page. And how do we get to the next page on here? And let's try that. Yeah, how do I get to the next page? Oh, scroll down. There's an idea. 6. To find the total cost of books you bought, you can use T equals 5B. So T equals 5B. T, total. To find the total that I spend, I can find you bought equals T, where T stands for total cost, okay, total, and B stands for the number of books bought. So I multiply 5 times the number of books. That makes sense. Okay? If I buy one book, it costs me $5. If I buy 2 books, my total is 10. If I buy 3 books, it's 15, so forth and so forth. So in this equation, which is T equals 5B, then you want to know, what does B stand for? Is B the independent, the dependent quantity, or independent quantity? Well, B is definitely a variable, not a quantity. We don't know what it is. Okay? So now it's a matter of choosing between A or B. So it's definitely not C and D. So right away, C and D are gone, and your chance is a 50-50 chance. Much better than 1 in 4. Now it's 1 in 2. So between A and B, it's a dependent or independent. So look at your statement again. It says the total cost depends on the number of books. So who's your dependent? Dependent is your total, so which makes the B independent. Okay? 7. You got 11 2/3 equals X plus 4 2/5. All right. Number 1, I personally don't like when the variable's on the other side. I would actually rewrite the question like this. X plus 4 2/5 equals 11 2/3. Okay, why do they, I don't even know why it's given in this way. You know what? We should know both ways, but you can always just switch it around. So it says something plus 4 2/5, 4 and a little bit, equals 11 2/3, which is about 11 and a little bit more than half. So if you were to take a guess, what plus 4 would give you about 11? It obviously has to be around 7, right? Around 7, maybe 6. depending on how big the sixth number is. So around 6 and 7 would be my guess. So X could be anywhere from 6 to 7. Look at your multiple choice answers. A says 15. No way, it's too big. 15 plus 4 is already 19, so A is gone. B says 6 is 6 and 2/3, possible. C, 7 equals 7 and 4/15, possible. And then D is 3.5, so D is gone. Makes no sense at all. So pick one of them and add. And if it doesn't work, pick B or C. So if B works, then B is the answer. If not, obviously C is your answer. So pick one of them, and I'll pick B, 6 and 2/3, and I'm going to try it out. I'm going to add it to 4 and 2/5. See if it gives me 11 and 2/3. Okay, let's separate our whole numbers. So 2/3, this is going to be 15, is the LCM. It's 3 times 5 is 15, so it's 10 on top. 5 times 3 is 15, so it's 6 on top. So let's see, 16 over 15. And 6 plus 10 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay, and my answer here is, let's see. Remember, 6 and 15 becomes a mixed number, 1 and 1/15. So that gives me 11 and 1/15, which is none of my answers. Why am I adding 6 plus 4? Oh, my apologies. I'm doing this problem completely incorrect. So let's start again. That's my fault. Sorry, just wasted 5 minutes of your precious time. My apologies. Ugh. Mr. Cho, you're not paying attention. No, I'm not. Alright, so it's an addition. This plus something equals 4 and 2/5. Right? Now, I was doing this correctly. What am I talking about? Was I adding? Let's go back. What did I do wrong? Right, so I was right. I'm sorry, 6 plus 4, so this would be 11 and 1/5. Okay, so if I add 6 and 2/3 plus 4 and 2/5 is 11 and 1/5, which is not 11 and 2/3. So that is not working. So let's try C, I'm sorry. And in letter C, alright, no, come on, don't do that. Letter C says add 7 and 4/15 plus 4 and 2/15. Let's see if that gives me 11 and 2/3. 2/5. And I have a feeling this might be it. So again, separate our whole numbers with our fractions. This is LCM is 15, so that stays as 15. This one changes to 15, and it's times 3, 6. Okay, so 6 plus 4 is 10/15. Okay, and then 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 and 10/15 simplify to 11 and 2/3, which is exactly what we're looking for. So 7 and 4/5 plus 4 and 2/5 equals 11 and 2/3. Okay, wow, made a mess of that question. But and final answer is C. 8. If you can type 75 words per minute, which equation shows the relationship between minutes and number of words? Okay, so number of words equals, so one way of doing it, use that statement we did in class, the total, because we want to come up with an equation. The total blank is blank. So what we're trying to find, the total number of minutes or the total number of words? Total number of words. So you got something that looks like this. The total number of words, to find total number of words, I multiply 75 times m, number of minutes. My equation, words, we use W, and 75 times m. So in 1 minute, 75 words, 2 minutes, 150 words, so forth and so forth. And the only equation that looks like mine is letter C. 9. Which is statement correct for the community property? Well, community property, A plus B, B plus C. Or A times B equals B times A. That's what the community property says. Changing the order in which two numbers are added or multiplied does not change the sum or product. Okay? So for number 9, community property, the only one that's community property is letter A. Okay? Let's move on to 10. Okay, so 10 is about temperature. Okay, and again, we discussed this in class about Fahrenheit and Celsius. So here's your formula. Okay, Celsius equals 5 over 9 and F minus 32. So if somebody says it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty hot for for us, okay, 9 degrees Fahrenheit, what would be that temperature in Celsius? Okay, because if you told somebody in Europe it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit, they had no idea what you're talking about. So substitute. C equals 5 over 9. We're given that Fahrenheit, the letter F, in this case is 95, minus 32. Order of operation tells we do parentheses first. 95 minus 32 is a 3, 63. Okay. Now we get to multiply a fraction and the whole number. Let's put this over 1. 5 times 63 is, let's see, 15 over here goes 1, 315 over 9. And 315 over 9 is 9 goes to 31 3 times, which is 27, 35. So, 95 degrees Fahrenheit is equal to 35 degrees Celsius. It's a pretty hot day. Okay. We're in 11. Oh, there's a lot of questions here. Number 11. Carlo works 7.5 hours every day. Which algebraic expression could you use to calculate the total number of hours he works in D days? Okay, and again, goes back to what we did. The total. The total what? Total number of hours. That's what we want to find. The total number of hours, okay, is what? 7.5 times the number of days. In 1 day, he works 7.5 hours. 2 days, he worked 15 hours. 3 days, 22.5 hours. So you're replacing the D, your variable D, with the number of days that you want to discover. So total hours equals 75. So you can write H equals 7.5 D. Is there anything that looks like this? There you go, letter B. 12. Sarah likes to read books. The table below shows the number of books she has read and the number of months. 3 months, 18 books. 4 months, 24 books. Well, you can tell that the relationship here from 3 to 18, 4 to 24, 5 to 30 is a times 6 relationship. Okay? So, again, let M represent months and B represent the books. Which equation shows the relationship between these variables? Well, go back to that sentence. The total what? The total month or the total number of books? What are we trying to find out? The total number of books. And how do we find out how many books she has read? Well, it says there, we multiply the number of months times 6. Let's see if that works. In 3 months, 3 times 6 is 18, which matches what we have on the table. 4 months would be 4 times 6, which is 24, which again matches the number on the table. So we have our correct equation here. Books equals M times 6, or B equals 6M's. Doesn't matter, M6 or 6M means the same thing. And we have something that looks like that, which is letter A. 13 is a simple order of operation problem. 48 divided by 7 plus 3 squared. Okay, very easy. Order of operations, 48 divided by parentheses 7, 3 squared is 9. 48 divided by 7 plus 9 is 16. And 48 divided by 16 is simply 3. Okay, easy problem. 14. Which word expression represents the algebraic expression 3a over 4? Okay, just let me write this a different way, 3a, so that you remember that 3 and a are being multiplied. So let's look for something that says that. Does that say letter A 4 divided? No, it's not 4 divided, it's 3a divided. So right away 4 is out, a is out, because it started with 4 divided. No, 4 is in the bottom. That's gone. B, the product of 3 and A. Okay, the product means the multiplication. So the multiplication of 3 and A divided by 4. Oh, ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. B is the correct choice. Well, let's check C. 4 times. No, 4 is not being multiplied by anybody, so that's garbage. And then D says 3 times A times 4. Well, almost. It's 3 times A divided by 4. Okay, which gives us question letter B. 15, 4 minus x. Well, 4 less than x. Remember, 4 less than x, you have to switch the order around. We want this. If you take the first choice, 4 less than x, it'd be 4 minus x, and because the word is less than, we have to make the switch, remember? And you get x minus 4. So A is out because you end up with this, and we want this. B, 4 and x, definitely not that one. C, 4 subtracted from x. Again, 4 subtracted from x, 4 subtracted from x would be x minus 4, so that's not it. And then x less than 4, x less than 4. This is x, this is less than, and this is 4. If you switch the order around, 4 minus x, and that's exactly what we want, so that makes it our choice, which is D. 16. The table shows the weight of a particular item, which phrase describes how the weight is related to the number of items. Alright, so he has something that's one item, half a pound. 2 items, 1 pound. 3 items, 1.5 pounds. 4 items, 2 pounds. So what's happening here? I'm hoping you see a relationship. If I have 5 items, I would have 2.5 pounds. Get the pattern? So the number of items and the weight are related by division. Half of the items will be the weight of the items. So A, the weight is 2 more than the number of items. No. This is weight. This is item. This is definitely not 2 more than that. The weight is half, 0.5 times the number of items. Ooh, I like that one. Remember, multiplying by 0.5 is the same thing as dividing it by 2. Okay, so B is our candidate. If you multiply 1 times 0.5, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. The weight is 0.5 times the number of items. Oh, wait. Yes, it is. 0.5 times the number of items. So you multiply the number of items times 0.5. Good, because 2 times 0.5 is 1, 3 times 0.5 is 1.5, and 4 times 0.5 is 2, and 5 times 0.5 is 2.5. That's the correct choice. The weight, C, is divided by the number of items. No. The weight is 2 divided by the number. No, it's not. Because if you have 2 and you divide by 2, you get 1. Well, that works for that. If you have 3 and you divide by 2, well, actually, this one, I'm sorry. There's 2 choices, B and C. The weight is 2 divided by the number of items. No, it's not. Sorry. Okay, because that says 2 divided by the number of items. So if I have 4 items, I get 2 divided by 4, and that is not 2. If I have 3 items, I would get 2 and divided by 3. Okay, that would not give me 1.5. So again, I'm sorry, the correct choice is B. It's the only one where it works. Because to find out the weight, we multiply 0.5 times the number of items, and that's correct. Made a mess of that one too, didn't I? Yikes. 17. N cubed minus 6. Wow, tough question. N equals 3. Well, substitution. So it's 3 to the third power minus 6. 3 to the third power is 27. Minus 6, 21. Jeez. 18. Which two expressions are equivalent? Okay, so here we have, remember, this looks like what we had before. Distributive property and after distributive property. So this one, 2 times x, 2x, good. 2 times 4 is 8, and they have 10, so these two are not equivalent. The second one, we got 2x plus 24 equals 2 parentheses x plus 14. Well, let's do the distributive property. 2 times x is 2x, good. 2 times 14 is 24. No, 2 times 14 is 28. They have 24. Nope. 5x plus 20. 5x plus 20. And they have 5 parentheses x plus 6. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 6 is 30, but they have 20, so that's not true either. And hopefully the last one should be it. 7x plus 56 equals 7 times x plus 8. 7 times x is 7x, and 7 times 8 is 56. Good. Because we were running out of choices. So correct answer, D. 19. 5y minus 8 minus 2y. This is combining like terms. Very simple problem, actually. 5y and 8, you can't subtract, but 5y minus 2, that can happen. So you can subtract this guy with this guy. And you get 5y minus 2y is 3y. Don't forget to include that as part of your answer. Although the 8 didn't do anything, it's still part of your answer. Can't throw it away. And the only one that looks like that is letter B. 20. What expression is equivalent to 48y plus 20m? Okay, so we're looking for something, and this was that. Something that looks like this. Okay, so we want to think of a number that goes into 48 and 20. Well, what are multiple choice? The multiple choice, they use the number 2 and the number 4. So let's create 2. Well, let's use the number 2. Number 2 goes into 48, number 2 goes into 20, so that works. So it would be 2 times 24, y, and then 2 goes into 20 10 times, 10m. Is that what they have for A? No, they don't. They have completely something different. They have 15m instead of 10m, so A is not it. Well, let's take the 4 out. Factor the 4 out. 4 goes into 48 12 times, and 4 goes into 8 25 times. So 5m and 12y, by the way. So we're looking for something that says 12y plus 5m, and the only one that has that is none of them. No, yes, B, C. Correct answer, C. Okay, on the map of a college campus, the computer science building is located at 8 and 5. So here's the location. Okay, and you don't have a coordinate, so but you can sort of imagine where it is. 8 and 5 would be 8 steps to the right, about here, and 5 steps up. So pretend that's where you are. Okay. The dining hall is located 3 units south at the computer science building. Okay. Which order pair represents the location of the dining hall? Well, think about it. South means, okay, if you don't know, that's north direction, that's south, and that's east, and that's west. To go south means he's going straight down. Okay, so to go straight down, he's taking the elevator down. So how many? He's going 3 south. So from there, he's going to take 3 floors down. So which floor is he in right now? He's on the 5th floor right now. Okay, let me write that a little bigger. He's at 8 to the right, and 5 floors up. This is the up and down. So it says that to go to the dining hall, I'm sorry, he has to go 3 south. Well, the 8 stays the same because you're not moving left and right, but from this to 5, you're going south 3 units. And 5 minus 3 is 2. So your new location is 8, right there. 8, 2. Oh, and we have that, which is letter A. Very nice. Very easy, actually. 22. Name the quadrant of the coordinate plane where -3 and 5 is located. And again, they didn't give you a little maps, but you can always just draw it out. -3. Here's the center. Tells you to walk left 1, 2, 3, and then you're taking the elevator up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're somewhere around here. What quadrant is that in? This is quadrant 1, and that's quadrant 2. And that's all you need to know. Final answer, B. 23. Why are the questions so easy? What's the coordinates of point B? Well, point B, how would you tell somebody to get to point B? Well, point B, so you're at the origin. You're going to tell them to take 1 unit to the right. So that's our number 1 here, our coordinate pair. Go 1 to the right, and take the elevator 4 flights up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is 1 and 4. And that's how we write it. And the only choice that says that is choice C. Okay, I think that's it. Wow, talk about easy. So if you're okay with these, you should be really okay. Okay, but hopefully, I think you saw some of the strategies, multiple choice strategies you can use here. Okay, and eliminate a lot of the ones that really don't make any sense. And that's that. Wait, I forgot. Sorry. Like a movie when you have the end and there's like extra stuff that you can watch, bloopers. Okay, so I'll go back 1 page and I'll write it right here. Okay. Right. There. Okay. That's what I want to know. All right, that's that. Now I'm off.